Let's start with our first news. Alex Pereira has just sent a message to Israel Adesanya, and it's something that caught a lot of fans off guard. As Israel Adesanya prepares to step back into the octagon this weekend in the main event of UFC Seattle, the spotlight is already building around his return. After spending nearly a year away from competition, the expectations are high, and the pressure is even higher. Adesanya is set to face Joe Pyfer in a 5-round fight, a matchup that initially left many fans confused. Some questioned the risk, while others didn't fully understand the reasoning behind such a dangerous opponent after a long layoff. However, Adesanya made it clear that this was exactly what he wanted. He wasn't looking for an easy comeback. He wanted a challenge, something that would test him immediately and push him back into the elite level of the division. Right before this fight, Alex Pereira stepped in with a message that surprised many. Instead of trash talk or tension, Pereira shared respect. He even posted a clip of the moment Adesanya knocked him out, something most fighters would avoid. Alongside that clip, Pereira wrote a powerful message. He said that Fight Night is here again and showed respect to Adesanya, acknowledging the moments they shared inside the octagon. He admitted that the loss taught him a lot and pushed him to evolve, not just as a fighter, but as a man. He emphasized how that setback became fuel for his growth, helping him reach a higher level in both the sport and life. Pereira continued by recognizing the sacrifices that come with stepping into the cage. The years of hard work, the pressure, and everything fighters go through behind the scenes. He ended his message by wishing Adesanya a great fight and encouraged him to stay focused and show his best version. His final words made it clear they are both still evolving and aiming for the top. Shama. This moment shows how much both fighters have matured. What was once a heated rivalry has now turned into mutual respect between two elite competitors who understand what it truly takes to compete at the highest level. Move on to another news. Gene Silva is making some big statements ahead of a potential clash with Alexander Volkanovski, and he's not holding anything back. In fact, his confidence has reached a level where he's willing to put everything on the line. Silva has openly declared that if he loses to Volkanovski, he will leave the UFC. That's a massive claim, and it instantly grabbed attention across the MMA world. This all comes as discussions continue around who truly deserves the next title shot. Many believe that Movsar Evloev has already done enough to secure his position as the #1 contender, even before his latest win over Arnold Allen. From a ranking standpoint, Evloev seems like the logical choice. But Silva clearly sees things differently. In a recent interview, Silva didn't just call for the fight. He went a step further by suggesting that Volkanovski might actually be avoiding him. He said he wants to make this a real fight, a pure striking battle between two fighters willing to stand and trade. Silva made it clear that he has long respected Volkanovski, even calling himself a fan of his fighting style in the past. But now, he believes it's his time to step up and prove himself. Silva also reflected on his previous fight against Diego Lopes. Even though he didn't come out with the win, he pointed out that the fight is still being talked about as one of the best fights of the year. For him, that performance alone shows that he belongs among the elite and deserves a high-profile opportunity. He then sent a direct message to Volkanovski, urging him to stop overthinking and just step into the octagon for a striking war. Silva made it very clear that he doesn't want a tactical, wrestling-heavy fight. He wants action, he wants exchanges, and he wants to test himself in a pure stand-up battle. And then came the boldest part. Silva stated that if Volkanovski wins, he will walk away from the UFC. That level of confidence is rare, and it shows just how strongly he believes in his abilities. While the UFC is more likely to move forward with Evloev as the next challenger, the idea of Volkanovski versus Silva in a striking-heavy matchup is undeniably exciting. Both fighters bring sharp striking, high-level movement, and a willingness to engage, making it a potential must-watch showdown if it ever becomes reality. Move on to another news. Israel Adesanya is not happy with how the middleweight division is being handled right now, especially when it comes to champions staying active. After stepping away and watching things from the outside, Adesanya has made it clear that he feels something is missing. And according to him, that something is activity. Speaking in a recent interview, Adesanya reflected on how things have changed since his time at the top. He pointed out that during his reign, he consistently stayed active, taking on all challengers and putting the belt on the line whenever possible. Now, looking at the current state of the division, he believes things have slowed down significantly. He specifically mentioned Khamzat as an example. According to Adesanya, Khamzat was once one of the most active fighters on the rise, constantly stepping into the octagon and dominating opponents. There was even a point where he fought multiple times within a very short period, building serious momentum and hype. But now that Khamzat has reached the top, Adesanya believes that pace has completely changed. He questioned what could be causing the slowdown, mentioning possible visa issues or injuries, but ultimately made it clear that from his perspective, the division doesn't feel the same anymore. Even though Khamzat does have a fight lined up, Adesanya still sees a clear difference in consistency compared to his own run. Adesanya didn't hold back when talking about his legacy as champion. He stated that the last truly active champion in the middleweight division was him. He emphasized that he was always willing to face the best, no matter the risk, and consistently stepped up to defend his title against top contenders. Looking back now, he believes that level of dedication may not have been fully appreciated at the time. Even he admits that he might not have realized just how much he was giving to the sport while he was in the moment. But now, watching from the outside, it's become clear to him that his activity kept the division alive and moving. Adesanya described the current state of the division as slow and somewhat stuck without that constant momentum. For him, being an active champion isn't just about defending the belt, it's about keeping the division competitive, exciting, and constantly evolving. Move on to another news. The MMA community has roasted Colby Covington after his recent comments about stepping away from politics. Colby has always been outspoken when it comes to politics inside the UFC, often known as the so-called company man. He was one of the most vocal supporters of Donald Trump during his first and second elections, and for years, he built a persona heavily tied to his political alignment. However, Colby recently announced that he's done with politics for good, citing how shady and ungrateful the whole scene is. In a recent clip, Covington admitted that he no longer wants to campaign or be involved politically, calling it a dirty game where loyalty is never rewarded. He even shared that at one point, he wanted to be the governor of Florida and dreamed of serving as a senator or congressman. Now, he says his focus is solely on business, enjoying real American beer, staying active in the RFA, and just minding his own business in peace. Fans quickly jumped on his comments, pointing out that Colby was apparently snubbed from the White House card despite his years of vocal support. Many noted that he likely expected recognition for his loyalty, only to be ignored, while his rival, Bo Nickel, secured a spot on the event. This discrepancy only added fuel to the fire, and the MMA community had a field day roasting him. Comments flooded social media, mocking Colby for his decade-long allegiance to Trump, only to be left hanging. Many joked that all his loyalty and political posturing didn't get him any real reward. They highlighted that loyalty to a politician doesn't translate to perks in the fight business, and that Colby's career built around political posturing left him exposed. Fans sarcastically remarked that he gargled a politician's balls and got nothing in return, emphasizing that his persona was largely performative and not reflective of real-life respect or opportunities. Some also pointed out that Colby's real personality is much different from his UFC persona. Off camera, he is reportedly more chill and likable, a contrast to the loud, polarizing character he has projected for years. While fans continue to dissect his political exit, the discussion underscores just how intertwined personality, marketing, and real fighting opportunities are in the MMA world, and how quickly public perception can shift when loyalties change. Move on to another news. Islam Makhachev's next fight may have just been leaked, and fans are already buzzing with speculation. This morning, a major update came through after Islam's manager, Ali Abdelaziz, sat down for an interview with TMZ Sports to address a variety of topics regarding Islam's future in the UFC. First, Ali touched on the potential matchup with Ilia Topuria at the White House event. According to Ali, the UFC did reach out about the possibility of Islam facing Topuria, but the fight never got close to being finalized. The call actually came in while Islam was asleep, and by the time he woke up, the UFC had already decided to go in a different direction. That means Islam never even had the chance to accept or decline the offer, leaving fans wondering what could have been. As for his confirmed next fight, Ali revealed that Islam will be back in the octagon in July. Initially, Islam was offered a different fight at welterweight to serve as the main event, but he opted to schedule the bout in July instead. Ali mentioned that the potential opponent has some injury issues, which influenced the timing, but he stressed that Islam is ready and willing to fight if everything lines up. Even if the Topuria versus Gaji fight in June goes poorly, Islam reportedly would have taken the fight with one leg if needed, highlighting his legendary willingness to compete and stay active. Ali confirmed that Islam already has a high-stakes matchup planned for the summer, a welterweight #1 contender fight, making it essentially a done deal. The UFC is expected to announce the bout officially soon, giving fans something to look forward to as the division continues to heat up. This news follows a busy period for Islam, who has been carefully managing his fights and ensuring that each matchup aligns with his career trajectory. With his ability to dominate at lightweight and now exploring welterweight opportunities, Islam remains one of the most strategic and calculated fighters in the sport. Fans are eagerly anticipating the official announcement and the eventual matchup, which promises to deliver high-level action and intense competition. Islam's focus and discipline make him a fighter who consistently stays ready, and this upcoming bout in July is set to reinforce his position at the top of the division. Move on to another news. Conor McGregor has officially confirmed his UFC return date, and fans are going absolutely crazy. After a long period of partying and being off the rails, Conor appears to have gotten his head straight following a spiritual awakening that included a 36-hour IO gang treatment in Mexico. That experience seems to have helped him refocus, and now he's back as one of the highest-tested athletes in the UFC, ready to step back into the octagon. Conor took to Twitter to address the swirling rumors about his return during International Fight Week, confirming them with his trademark flair. In his post, he called himself MR Confidence, promising to save fighting again, and delivered a message filled with bravado, energy, and classic McGregor insults. He even included the line, "If you pay me, you fat Irish prick. If you don't have my money, I will put your brain to sleep." A famous quote from Joe Pesci's character in the movie Casino, where the character threatens someone over unpaid money in a dramatic Las Vegas scene. Many fans believe Conor is subliminally calling out Dana White, insisting the UFC officially books his fight and pays him what he's owed. In true McGregor style, he also referenced casinos, divine magic, and big money moves, all while declaring that he's born ready and excited to compete again. His post highlighted both his confidence and his strategic mind, using movie references and over-the-top language to amplify his persona. Fans are dissecting whether the message is directed at Dana, a rival like Ian Gary, or just part of Conor's legendary negotiation tactics to push the UFC into urgency. Speculation about his next opponent is already heating up. The likely options include Max Holloway, who recently called out Conor after his loss to Charles Oliveira, or Jorge Masvidal, who has been vocal about returning to MMA for a fight with McGregor. Nate Diaz had been a rumored option for a trilogy bout, but he's booked on a Netflix fight against Mike Perry, leaving Masvidal as the more plausible choice. Conor hasn't competed since breaking his shin against Dustin Poirier back in 2021, so a matchup against someone like Masvidal, who has also had time away from the octagon, makes strategic sense for the UFC. Fans are eagerly awaiting the official announcement, and with Conor back in full swing, the anticipation is building for a high-energy fight that could shake up the division. His return promises drama, intensity, and unforgettable McGregor-style chaos inside the cage. Move on to another news. Israel Adesanya recently weighed in on the upcoming middleweight title fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Sean Strickland, sharing his thoughts on how the matchup could play out. Adesanya believes Strickland is one of the few fighters who can match Khamzat's crazy aggressive approach inside the octagon. He explained that Khamzat is the type of fighter who comes forward aggressively from the very first bell, applying constant pressure and never letting his opponents settle. Strickland, according to Adesanya, has the skill and mindset to keep up with that intensity, especially if the fight goes into the later rounds without him being taken down. This analysis comes as Adesanya himself is preparing for a massive showdown against rising contender Joe Pyre. Many view this fight as a potential career-defining moment for Adesanya. A victory could vault him back into the middleweight top 3, while a loss might significantly impact his standing in the division. Despite the high stakes, Adesanya is approaching the bout with focus and discipline. He has been training closely with Robert Whittaker to sharpen his striking, aiming to make a statement and demonstrate that he is still a top-tier competitor. In interviews, Adesanya has made it clear that he is not obsessed with reclaiming the belt. He often expresses satisfaction with what he has achieved in his career, but that doesn't mean he's taking his next fight lightly. He remains aggressive, mentally sharp, and determined to get back in the win column in a big way. His approach emphasizes both strategy and intensity, showing that he can balance experience with the hunger to compete at the highest level. When discussing the Khamzat versus Strickland matchup specifically, Adesanya noted that Strickland could create problems for Khamzat if he can avoid takedowns and maintain his pace into the later rounds. He also acknowledged that Khamzat is a bat out of hell, coming forward with relentless aggression, which makes the fight unpredictable and exciting. Since both fighters have trained together, Adesanya hinted that there might be subtle dynamics from their gym sessions that fans are not privy to, adding another layer of intrigue to the bout. Overall, Adesanya is looking forward to watching the fight and reacting to it, noting that it will be fascinating to see how Strickland handles Khamzat's pressure and whether he can capitalize on any opportunities. The matchup promises high-level striking, strategic battles, and intense action, making it a must-watch for middleweight fans worldwide.